welcome to today's Pick a Crystal reading. Today's reading is actually inspired by the healing journey video that I did with Donna Hawthorne. So this reading, we're looking at your love journey. We're going to be getting 3 oracle cards for each of the 3 groups, and I'm going to be looking at the 3 most significant stages of your love journey. Now, there will be an extended reading today, and in the extended, I'm going to be able to get more in depth, more information. We're going to look at the gaps between those 3 specific events, as well as the future and what you can expect beyond that 3rd part of your journey. It'll differ between, each of the 3 groups, so we'll see what comes out for the 3 of them. But that is my intention. Now, my extended readings are always on Patreon, you guys, but I feel called to just share a quick message about Patreon. So first of all, if you are a patron, I just want to thank you so much for supporting me and for supporting this channel. The idea of Patreon for YouTubers in general is that it offers a more stable income so that creators are able to create more seriously and put more energy and effort into it. I'm not 100% good with the technical side of things, if you guys haven't noticed, but I love reading and I love doing tarot readings and I love doing general readings, which is why I spent a long time focusing on this part of the Hermit Tarot. I know that a lot of people would appreciate personal readings, but I knew from the beginning that I'd be able to reach more people if I focused more on general readings. I could have just set up shop in my local town and been a personal reader at our beautiful spiritual community center and made a technical living there, but it's just not what I felt called to do. I felt like I had to do general readings and reach as many people as possible. So it's because of the Patreon members that I'm able to do that. But the other reason why I wanted to talk about Patreon, aside from the fact of thanking them and thanking you if you are a patron, was to just encourage you guys to have a look at what I offer on those tiers. I've just recently received messages and emails asking about monthly zodiac predictions, or somebody was asking about do you teach how to connect with your intuition or how to read tarot like you? And yes, I do, for all of the above. I offer that on Patreon for the members over there. So I would recommend that if you're looking for something like that, check out what I offer in each of the tiers. And the good thing about Patreon is that you don't have to, it's not like a lock-in contract, you can switch between the tiers month by month. I post a monthly posting schedule at the start of every month. So June's will be up maybe by next week or the week after. And you can decide at that point whether you want to continue in your tier or whether you want to drop down a tier or whether you want to stop your membership altogether. It's very flexible like that. So there's a lot going on over there, and I do encourage that you have a look just in case that is what you're looking for, because I've just recently gotten emails, especially about the intuition one. And I do offer that in the Labradorite tier. I offer the Exploring Spirituality series where I talk about connecting with my intuition and my experiences of connecting with my guides and the journey of me awakening, as well as my twin flame story. It's all on there. So I do encourage that you have a look at Patreon if you are into those sorts of topics. Now, coming back to this reading, we do have 3 groups today. As I said, there will be extended readings. Group 1, you have the citrine quartz crystal over here. Beautiful crystal. I love this crystal. It's one of my OGs. Group 2, you have the smoky quartz crystal. This is very smoky, and listen, it came to me like this, but it had an energy that I just couldn't deny. I couldn't let it go, so I kept it. It's chipped to make it look like glass, but I do know this one is quartz. Group 3, you guys have the labradorite crystal. Now this one is a pale labradorite, and it's a very sentimental crystal to me. It was actually a gift from a beautiful, beautiful lady. So I'm very, very grateful to have this crystal in my collection. So those are the 3 groups, you guys. I do recommend that you take time. We are looking at your love journey. So usually, this is the bizarre thing, when I post a love reading, they get such mixed reactions compared to my more traumatizing videos that are about healing and connecting with spirit and your guides. So listen, take time to connect to your intuition. Don't accidentally receive a message that isn't yours. Pause the video if you need more time, and when you're ready, when you know which group you're feeling most called to, scroll down below and click on your timestamps and join me in your reading. Hi group 1 and welcome. If you chose the citrine quartz crystal, then this is going to be your reading. So group 1, today we're looking at your love journey. We're going to be pulling 3 oracle cards to start with that will tell us more about the 3 most significant stages of your love journey. Now, I think this video should be super interesting. We'll see what comes out. I'll be using a variety of decks depending on what themes arise. So there isn't a standardized template for each of the 3 groups. We're just going to start with the 3 oracle cards and see how we go from there. Is the camera a little bit blurry? It looks like it's a bit blurry. I don't know. I don't know. All right, let's get your cards. Oopsie daisy. There's the candle over here, so when I shuffle like that, my elbow ends up in the heat, and it just throws me off for a second. All right. Okay, so group number 1, please, Spirit. What are the 3 most significant stages of their love journey? What are the 3 most significant stages? We have the Chariot coming out as your first stage. Oh my goodness, beautiful, powerful energy there. Someone who wears their heart on their sleeve, though, might I say. Jumping in headfirst into a serious relationship for some of you. Group 1, please, Spirit. What is the next significant stage of their love journey? Okay. We have the sacral chakra and the 8 of Cups. Now, I was only going to take 1, but listen, spirit drives in this reading, so we're going to let them change that formula to give us the clarity that we need. Oh, okay. Isn't this profound? We have the Moon and the Hierophant card, confront and teach, as your 3rd stage. Oh my lord. Okay, so bottom deck energy is the 3 of Cups. So beautiful energy, group 1. Beautiful, beautiful energy. Group 1, Spirit is saying, let me have the Amazonite so that I speak clearly. The Amazonite does trigger my Gemini rising though, and channeling in general. I do talk very fast when I channel. So let's just try to stay grounded and give you a clear message. I know a lot of people talk about how fast I talk sometimes and it ruins the reading, but I can't control the channeling aspect, but I will try to be mindful of that. Now, the 3 of Cups for you guys, group 1, that is telling me that overall your love journey is about knowing how to give and receive love in a very playful manner. I feel like when you were younger, you seem to have fallen head over heels for someone, or you were someone who really wore their heart on their sleeve. They're amplifying that the first significant stage of your love journey is the Chariot, which is a Cancer card, someone who moves very quickly into a relationship. So I feel like you would have had a very significant relationship when you were younger that moved very quickly, that felt, I want to say it did feel balanced, but with it being the Chariot, you did a lot of the work there. You pushed for it. You really were the active person in that relationship. You were someone who, like, yes, your partner may have reciprocated and it could have been love at some stage, but I feel like this really was you sort of making it happen and being very assertive with your energy to make it happen, wearing your heart on your sleeve. For some of you, this was a very fond memory. For others of you, it showed you a lot about your nature and about other people. And I feel that if it didn't work out, it was something that you really carried with you for some time. The first part of your journey with Move here is really telling me that you were the one who was doing most of the work in that relationship. That relationship taught you about unbalanced energies, and for some of you, codependency. But for all of you, it was about really just letting things unfold naturally, because I do feel like you really tried to make this work. You really tried to make it happen. You tried to you may have fallen in love with the idea of love at that stage and not really with the person. It may have been a honeymoon period, a very profound, fresh, new love, But I feel that once the honeymoon period wore off, it was very obvious that you just fell in love with the idea of having a serious commitment, with having someone there, with having a partner, with having a serious relationship, or your first serious relationship. So I feel like for many of you, the first stage of your journey is falling in love with the idea of love and realizing that there is more to love than labels, there is more to love than actions, there is more to love than fitting a certain mold and moving into certain key milestones. I feel like at this stage, you're really trying to reach those milestones. You're trying to get that Facebook status. You're trying to, meet the parents. You're trying to move in together. You're trying to call each other, boyfriend, girlfriend, or that's my partner type of thing. Like, you move really quickly. You move seriously, and you move with this idea of reaching milestones. And that is what the Three of Cups in that stage of the journey is also trying to teach you. Your overall journey with the Three of Cups is about sharing love from a pure part, a part of it that feels unconditional. I don't consider the Three of Cups to be a conditional form of love. I see it as a very lighthearted connection form of love, where you're just simply sharing laughs and sharing moments. There's not a lot of deep depth to that kind of love, but in this part, you tried to make it deep too soon. You tried to mold it into something serious when that was a part of your journey, but that's not a part of your whole journey, if that makes sense. This stage was you making something very, very, very serious for yourself, because that's what you thought you wanted. But I do feel like you've just fell in love with the idea of love and not necessarily with the person. So the second stage of your love journey involves you moving on from something. For many of you, this is you moving on from that relationship. For others of you, it's about you moving on from other relationships. It's this feeling of this part of your love journey is teaching you more about what you truly want. With sacral chakra here, you're in a more feminine energy of healing, of really sort of nurturing yourself, in the sense of, I think of sacral chakra as passion and desire and creativity, the source of inspiration. It's very much source energy within yourself. It's your womb, it's your testicles, it's the part of your body that is formed to create. So I feel that at this point in your life, you are focusing more on yourself. You're focusing more on healing. You're focusing more on creating for yourself. Some of you may have had a child at this point, but you're moving away from people and relationships that no longer serve you. You've gained the confidence to step away from things that you realize isn't a part of your journey. Now, when I talk about this, I'm referencing your journey being something that isn't supposed to be hindered. The Three of Cups is a very open energy. The threes in general for me represent expansion, and the Three of Cups is expanding love through experience, through connection, through fun moments. And it feels like you settled down too seriously here. This part of your journey is about really tapping into that expansion energy, knowing that love knows no bounds. Your love isn't limited. You should be someone who is evolving for self and growing for self and really expanding. And if you are feeling stuck, that was never your intention, group one. You're supposed to have a lot of fun with your love. You're supposed to have a lot of joy with your love. You're supposed to connect with a lot of people with your love. Now, love has many different connotations. I'm not just talking about romantic partners here. I'm talking about friendships. I'm talking about family. I'm talking about cultivating really joyful connections in your life of people who you can say that you love in one form or another. You are someone who is supposed to have joy when they fall in love. And I think that you try so hard to make it so serious over here that you lose that joy. And you then realize that you need to walk away from that situation. But the Eight of Cups is showing you that, listen, it's not that that's the be all end all. It's time to move on. It's time to move forward. It's time to grow forward. And it's time to realize that you have the ability to do that. You have the courage to do that. It's not easy moving away from something that you've invested so much energy into, so much emotional energy into over here. You've really, cultivated 8 cups. This could be an 8-year romance. This could be 8 months. This could just be a very significant period. But your next most significant period in your love life involves you sort of walking away from those things and really growing for yourself here, creating something for yourself. Some of you really may have a child at this point in your timeline, but mostly this journey is about you sort of healing and instigating that passion again, instigating that inspiration again, connecting with your joyful presence again through sacral chakras, passionate, inspiring, creative forces. I feel like this is you really trying to grow here, really trying to grow. And that kind of takes a long time for some of you. The Eight of Cups is a slower energy. It's the second slowest suit, Pentacles being the slowest. So it could, in this hindsight, it may just be like a snap of the fingers, but it may feel in the moment like it's a long period of you just healing and trying to bring joy back into your love narrative. Now this leads to your third significant stage in your love journey. So over here we have confront and teach. We're looking at the moon and the Hierophant card. So this is where things get serious again, because I feel like this is your opportunity to truly share the love. I feel like for some of you, this is indicating a very serious partnership, but for all of you, this is talking about you confronting your shadow self, confronting your fears, because many of you settled into something so serious so soon when you were so young. It takes you a long time to work up the courage to be able to do that again. You may spend a long time in this second phase here, just focusing on yourself, growing for yourself, trying to move away from things that are too serious and just simply focusing on your happy moments, to the point where it's years and years and years before you have another serious relationship. I feel like this part of your love journey, group one, is about you confronting your fears. And look at this. Look at who this man is looking at in that doorway. You confronting your inner child, you confronting that younger version of yourself who is afraid to step back into the ring as a serious commitment, someone who has to face their fears in order to move forward. Now, what this does is it has a secondary effect. The primary effect is that it helps you heal. It helps you understand yourself better. It helps you love yourself better. But mostly, the secondary effect is that it also gains you the emotional maturity to be able to help others. And I feel that for many of you, this third stage of your love journey is also about you sharing your experiences with others. Coming back to the Three of Cups, this is you sharing your love experience with others, teaching others. At this point, you may have children and you may be telling them about, their I was about to say sperm donor, whoever their, parent was, or you at a young age. It's you sort of sharing your experiences with others to be able to impart wisdom that is unclouded by fear, because fear is a natural response, but you aren't letting it rule you over here. With the moon up, right? You're confronting your shadows, you're confronting your fears, you're being able to see through the illusions, and you're someone who still has an emotional response to those memories, to those experiences, but you're able to address those feelings in a mature way. You've had your time to process them, and you're now able to share what you've processed and learned with others. For many of you, you may, make this a profession with teach. The Hierophant usually talks about systems, or which can represent schools. So you may become a professor of some sort, or someone who is sharing what you've learned with others, but mostly this is you confronting your fears so that you're able to step into something that feels comfortable for you, that isn't feeling limited. The Hierophant can talk about conformity, but I mostly in this deck see it as change with the Five. I see it as you changing the way that you address your fears so that you can share your love with people who really want to know what you know. Look at this card. We're seeing all these silhouettes in the background of two individuals standing face to face. It's really just about connecting and not missing out on what life has to offer. You were very afraid of who you were when you were younger and how you seemed to be the one who did everything, to the point where instead of fueling that desire into somebody else, you fueled it into yourself, which is helpful. I always talk about, do it for yourself so you don't get disappointed. But in your case, that third stage is you realizing that, wow, I am actually a little bit disappointed. It's time to be open again to the idea of love. It's time to change the way that I perceive love. It's time to really offer a different opinion now. It's time to not be so combative when it comes to love. It's time to realize that love is the essence of life. Love is the essence of our experience in this lifetime. And there are many ways to love, but there is a specific kind of love that you had been denying yourself here, that you had been holding off from because you were afraid of how it would change you again, or you were afraid of how it would suppress you again or oppress you again. So really your love journey is about coming back to that naive, youthful self with the wisdom of your older self, and hugging that younger person and apologizing and making it up to them, in the sense of like, neither of you did anything wrong. You can only do the best that you can with the information that you have. It's about forgiving yourself and letting yourself move forward into the success that you deserve, so that you can expand your mind and really offer yourself this connection again. So for some of you, yeah, this is a lot. This is a big journey into love, really. This is a very significant. Those are the 3 stages. And I feel like, listen, you probably do connect with people here in this second stage. Some of you may have flings, you may have relationships, but they don't really hit as serious as this one did. This one was something that you went all in for. Your heart was on your sleeve. You said, sign me up. I want it all. To the point where many of you were willing to marry this person and have children with this person. It was very serious. You could have been married and had children. And then it involved you separating and growing as an individual, realizing who you are and what you want out of life again, so that, you know, you could embrace that joyful presence that you're supposed to have. In that process, time sort of slipped away and you never felt ready enough to get back in the ring. You still harbored fears and concerns of settling down and connecting with someone again, which led to this 3rd phase over here of you eventually needing to confront that inner child, hug that inner child and say, don't worry, it's not going to happen like it did last time. I'm wiser now. We know better now. I forgive you. Do you forgive me? Type of energy. Having that conversation with your inner child and allowing yourself to use that wisdom to change your circumstances again. So listen, what I want to do is I want to get some of Sarah's beautiful cards to see what else Spirit can tell us about these 3 stages. What about the 1st stage, Spirit, with Chariot? What else can you tell us about that stage of Group 1's love journey? Happiness. Yeah, I don't doubt that it is a period that is very exciting for you. I feel like it in the beginning, especially that honeymoon period, is pure bliss. Like, you think this is your person, Group 1. You're very, 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 very happy. You're very excited. You're very much content with your life. You really want this. You want this to work. You feel joy. You feel that beautiful 3 of Cups energy of bliss and just happiness. It's something that really does connect you with your inner child. And I feel like you do subsequently wear your heart on your sleeve and really go all in here. It's a period of your life that some of you, once you're able to heal from whatever this 8 of Cups situation was, you do look back at it with fond memories, because I feel like you do create a lot of experiences at that point in your life. So what about the 8 of Cups, Spirit, and the sacral chakra? What else can you tell us about that stage of their love journey? What else can you tell us about that stage of their love journey? What happens there, Spirit? What happens there? Zen, your peace is disrupted. They're showing me Zen reversed. Your peace is disrupted. You start dreaming of a way out. Something infiltrates I feel like there's escapism here. Your kind, beautiful heart may make it very difficult for you to walk away. But I feel like you receive an opportunity that brings you your spark, your sense of direction and purpose again. And it leads you to want to take this open road. It feels like a quest, but you don't know it yet. It's like you've accidentally signed up for a quest here. You just look at it as this my way out, and it leads to you taking a quest that you don't know yet, okay? What about the Moon card and the Hierophant, Spirit? What can you tell us about that stage of Group 1's love journey? They're showing me timing. Okay, so a lot of this has to do with just your healing, okay? This may be a frustrating part of your life because it feels like the timing is off. It feels like things are either aligning in a... How do I word this? It kind of feels like many of you are still telling yourself that you're not ready enough yet. You may meet someone at this point in your life and it's just like, oh my gosh, I don't think I'm healed enough for this person. I don't think I'm ready enough for this person. Or why have I been single for so long at this point in time? The timing here is being highlighted as feeling like a significant part of that stage of your journey. What else can you tell us about that part of Group 1's journey, Spirit? Zealous reversed. Yeah, things go slow over there. Things really slow down over there. We're kind of losing our spark over here and feeling like a bit heavier, especially with the moon's energy distorting the way that we're thinking. We're starting to feel a bit heavy there, not as keen on love as we used to be, which is interesting because the timing as well. So we're kind of questioning things. We're going, hey, wait a minute, but why? Like, I'm not as keen, I'm not as naive as I used to be. So like, why is this happening? What else can you tell us about that part of their journey, Spirit? Oh my God, I just got slapped in the face by those cards. Okay, I gotta pick that off the ground. Excuse me. Oh my God. That literally, like, it slapped me in the face. Holy heck. Okay. Wow. There's a lot going on over here, okay? I feel like it's a very confronting period of your life. Literally, we had confront. I feel like things just seem to be flying out at you, and it's very much like, why now? Like, I was on a roll here. What's going on? And that's when these uncomfortable feelings come to light with the moon card. You start to realize things that you had suppressed for some time. We have conquer, which fell on the ground. So I feel like you do overcome these fears. I feel like you really connect with yourself and realize that you're kind of limiting your opportunities here by staying in the dark, by clinging to that child who still feels hurt and afraid and worried and concerned and unsure. I feel like we do overcome that. What are these cards talking about? Boundless in the reverse. Okay. And key. Yeah. So the fear is around connection because you want your freedom. And you don't want to feel stuck. You don't want to feel like somebody's taken your key away and put you in a boundary. And that's what the Hierophant can feel like at times. When you have commitment issues or concerns or a fear of intimacy, it can feel like you're being trapped when actually there are many different parameters that you can choose to put around your love situation. You don't have to follow other people's molds. Love doesn't even have to have parameters, full stop. Love is the most freeing concept in our world, and for some reason it's been tainted by so much fear and so many different limitations. So I see that this period of your life is serious, and it's you kind of needing to understand that love isn't something that is going to try to keep you constrained and confined. And I feel like in order to move forward, you have to realize that you're the one who's always holding your own key here. You're the one who has grown enough to be able to realize that this isn't going to, it's not going to stop you and restrict you in the way that it may have in the past, which is interesting because you seemed happy. So what happens back, sorry, I'm just going to clarify that happiness card again, because I do feel like it doesn't last, but what happens over here, Spirit? What happens with the first part of their journey? Reality. Excuse me, healthy. Okay, healthy. So you realize healthy boundaries over here. You learn more about what is and what isn't healthy for you. You realize that you may have been more interested in the desire start of the relationship, and you may have sacrificed your independence by jumping into this situation. So you learn a lot about yourself at that period of your life. I feel like this person isn't a bad person. The two of you just got too serious too soon. And I do think that you still think of that person, or at least their impact on your life from time to time. And there's this feeling here of somehow sharing ties with them throughout your journey. So united is interesting. You could have had a child with them, but there's a part of you that still feels connected to that part of your life. That's a very significant part of your life. So where should we go to from here? I kind of want to know more about these people, Can you tell me more about this person's personality, please, Spirit? Group 1. What is this person's personality like? Their first love, or their first significant love. Okay, so this is someone who struggles to communicate authentically. This is someone who doesn't like to take the lead. This is someone who will let you take the lead, and they may come across as manipulative because of that, but it's because they see you as the person who's most outspoken. So they seem to be a quiet person who is more sort of like, oh yeah, whatever you want, like you decide, you do it, whatever you want to eat, whatever you want the bathroom to look like, yeah, that's fine. Like they're that kind of energy. They're more passive, and they kind of want you to take the lead. They're not a leader, so I can understand how you could have gotten carried away there by making everything happen, by really just setting the dates and setting the times and setting those standards and those boundaries to the point where this person looks like they've given up on the connection. What else can you tell us about their personality, Spirit? What is this person's personality like? Yeah, I do think that they want the relationship to be smooth sailing. I don't think this is someone who likes drama. They may just agree with you to avoid conflict and avoid issues with the Six of Swords. This is someone who just wants peace. Like they don't like confrontations, they don't like drama. They're just gonna say like, whatever you want, that's fine. And I do think that this person has a calm nature, but I think that they internalize a lot of what they truly think because they're afraid of rocking the boat here. I feel like this person does know how to say the right things, but I feel like when it comes to the actions in the relationship, that's on you. Like you're the one doing most of the legwork. This person may say all the right things, but you're the one doing the legwork here. What else can you tell us about this person's personality? Okay, so this is someone who, to you, feels like an open book. You seem to know them inside and out. With the Nine of Wands reversed, they're also easy to manipulate. So they kind of they're quick to go, like, where somebody else would go, no, like, this is what I believe and this is what I like. This person will go, yeah, sure, like, that's fine. And you're like, really? Are you sure? Is your favorite color really blue? I only see you wearing red. And they're like, yeah, no, it's fine. We can use blue if you want. I see that this becomes frustrating for you because you kind of want this to be two individuals, but this person is so used to just giving you whatever you want that they don't really have an identity separate from yourself. You seem to be someone who sort of guides most of the relationship. It feels like with the Nine of Wands reversed that they're easy to manipulate and they're easy to kind of tip either way. They don't seem to be standing. And when you don't stand for anything, you fall for everything. Is there anything else you can tell us about that person's personality? Anything else you can tell us? Yeah, they do come across as a happy person, a joyful person, very connected to their inner child. They come across as someone who does instigate a lot of happiness. Like you are happy with them. They're a bright ray of sunshine. But I think that it takes a long time for this person to catch up to you. With the Knight of Pentacles, I think that the relationship does get very serious. I think that this person is also fond of the idea of having a serious relationship and a serious partnership and sort of being together as a cohesive unit. This person likes commitment. This person values loyalty. There's someone who does better in relationships is what Spirit is indicating, but I do see that they get lost in this relationship. Now, I don't feel that there's anybody here, but I do think that there is someone here. So what can you tell us about that person's personality, Spirit? Group 1, what can you, there may be flings, but there's no one really serious here. I want to know what this is about because you're feeling very triggered over here. There's a lot of fear coming up and there's a lot of concern. So who is this person, Spirit? What is their personality like? Who is that person, Spirit? What is their personality like? They're showing me the Two of Wands reversed. So, okay, this person is difficult because they seem to be narrow-minded. They're only difficult because they're very clear on what they want. They're not someone who is open to compromising. They seem to have a clear plan. They have a clear sense of direction. They have a clear idea of what they want here. tunnel vision is what I'm getting. With the Two of Wands reversed, they could be a bit stubborn too. Like when they want something, it's like this or nothing. I feel like this person may have been waiting though as well, which is interesting. So once they find what they want, they're willing to just sort of be stubborn and stick to that vision because they've waited this long anyway. But it could be difficult to compromise with a person like that. What else can you tell us about that person's personality, Spirit? What else can you tell us about that person's personality? Okay, so things do move quickly with this person. There's this passion with them. There's a lot of communication here. There's a lot of excitement here. This person has a lot of fire in their chart. So we had sort of Leo, Gemini, Virgo over here. And we've got just a lot of fire over here. I'm getting mostly Aries and Sagittarius, not so much Leo so far. But yeah, a lot of spontaneity here with this Eight of Wands. Things just sort of happen with this person. Maybe they appear unexpectedly. There's a lot of attraction. They kind of just strike you as a very attractive person as well. Things move quickly again, which is very triggering because you're like, hey, wait a minute, I've done this before. I don't know if I want to do that again. Things feel like they move quickly here. Group 1, what else can you tell us about that person's personality in the third section? Yeah, okay, so this person seems, with the Four of Pentacles reversed, I want to say that it's like the opposite of frugal here. Maybe they're a bit too open for your likings. You're starting to see red flags over here. You want someone who's patient. You may put parameters on this relationship. You're the one who puts boundaries. You're the one who tries to slow them down and tell them like, yes, I'm very attracted to you. And I felt it too, but in my past, I gave too much and you can't rush me this time around. Like I need to take my time. There's this feeling of needing to slow things down. Someone here is very determined though with the Emperor. It feels like this person's energy, they will wait. They will wait because they're very set on you. The Emperor is telling me that this person loves to be in control though, and you try to really control this situation to the point where they feel like you're not interested in them. This person actually likes it more when things are difficult with the Queen of Wands reversed. They feel like a very fiery person. They could be a fire Pentacles cusp here. Like we could be looking at Aries Taurus or like a Leo Virgo or a Sagittarius Capricorn, but they have this Emperor ability of just sort of, yes, they like control, but they're also someone who has the experience of balancing risk with desire and passion, you know, like they seem to really sort of want to take care of you. They see something in this relationship that you can't see initially because you are so concerned and riddled with fear. This person sees all of the potential and they see you kind of limiting that potential, which is frustrating for them. But I do see them wanting to be patient and waiting for you to open up. This is someone who does make it easy for you to open up, which also scares you and triggers you because you're like, why is this so easy? I see you really overthinking a lot of this and needing to take time out to just reflect and ground yourself because this person's energy just kind of triggers it all. It raises your heartbeat and makes you feel like this young, naive, foolish child again. We have the Page of Cups as your bottom deck energy. So this person coming towards you and that part of your journey anyway, they feel like they have a lot of patience and they really want to cultivate a strong sort of friendship first. The Page of Cups can also talk about an apology. So I feel like this person is just sort of being very playful and patient with your feelings and waiting for the energy to happen organically, even though they feel it from the beginning. They're very stubborn though. They're not going to give up. They feel it. Even though you try to block yourself off, even though you try to separate yourself, it feels like this person is even more attracted to you then because they see you as someone who is worthy of waiting for. Like you have healthy boundaries. They know that what you've been through is what is creating these fears. You're not just doing this because of them. You're doing this because of what had happened in your past. And I think that they encourage you to keep open communication with them, and they really do put in the work to show you that they're going to take care of you as well. So group 1, that's what I have for you. It's been an interesting reading. I don't think I've done a reading like this in a long, long time where I've just sort of focused on oracle cards and only a little bit of tarot, I just got another message for you before I finish. They showed me the Star card and the Nine of Cups. So the most impactful part of this person's personality is that they actually encourage you to be selfish. They encourage you to focus on yourself and to continue using your energy for yourself. Like, this person loves the independent side to you, and they don't want to compromise that. They want you to continue feeling like you have the opportunity to heal and focus on yourself, even though the two of you are growing together as well. So that's what I have for you, group one. I'm going to take this into the extended now. In the extended, I'm going to take all these cards away. We're going to strip back to these 3 stages, and I'm going to be filling in the gaps. Well, what happens in between here? Exactly. Like, how do we get to that? Exactly. And what happens at this part of your journey? Exactly. Like, do people come in and out? Exactly. Are there other people at that time? Is there a spiritual awakening at that time? What is growing at that time? And then over here, well, how do we get to this point? What's going on in the space here? So we're going to be bridging the gaps and seeing what the other smaller stages of your love journey are as well. So if you'd like to join us in the extended, the link to our Patreon community is, oh my days, my heart, I keep hiccuping, is down below. You'll also have access to the other extended readings as well. So I've been on Patreon for 6, nearly 7 months now. So there's a lot of content over there. Yeah, that's all I have to say to you guys. In regards to this reading, thank you for all of your support. Thank you for tuning in. As always, take what resonates. Don't force anything to fit. And I shall see you in another video. Bye. Hi group 2 and welcome. If you chose the Smoky Quartz Crystal, then this is going to be your reading. So group 2, today we are asking Spirit about your love journey. We're going to be asking about the 3 most significant phases or stages in your love journey. Now, I hope that today's reading is helpful. I have a feeling that it could just be an insightful reading to help you understand where you're at as well. Maybe you've got some beautiful things to look forward to. So let's see what we can find for you guys. I'm going to start with 3 oracle cards. Spirit may choose to give us more, and that's fine, but I'm going in with the idea that we're only getting 3, and then we'll elaborate with other cards from there. So, group 2, please, Spirit. For those who chose the Smoky Quartz, what is the first significant stage in their love journey? What is the first significant stage in their love journey? Spirit is showing me find balance, which is ironic because this is the 2 of Pentacles, find balance. And beneath that, group 2, I might move you back a bit so we can fit more cards in, because I want to be able to fit many more cards. There we go, that's more room. So beneath that, we have Temperance in the reverse. We have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, and we have the Hermit card in the reverse. So this is interesting. I want to get 2 more cards at least for the other 2 stages, but I'm getting a very clear message for that first stage. Group 2, please, Spirit. What is stage 2 in their love journey? What is stage 2 in their love journey? What is stage 2? What is the next significant stage in group 2's love journey? They're showing me reach out reversed. Okay. This is the 3 of Pentacles reversed now. Can I get another card for stage 3, please, Spirit? What is group 2's next significant stage in their love journey? They're showing me the crown chakra now as your 3rd stage. And the cards that came out to clarify that are the 9 of Pentacles reversed and the 4 of Pentacles reversed as well. And they're showing me the 7 of Pentacles as well. They don't really want that to be significant though. They don't want to scare you with that card. We have the 7 of, the 7 of Major Arcana. We have the Chariot coming out for you as your bottom deck energy as well, which is reversed. You've got an interesting journey, group 2. Very interesting journey. I want to hold the Amazonite, and I'll just take a quick sip of my green juice. Your journey, group 2. Why did I smack my lips like that? Your journey is very much about your connection to your higher self. Your journey is about learning to trust yourself and learning to trust what comes your way, because I feel like for a long time, for many of you, you spend a lot of time trying to find balance in your own relationships through your own expression, if that makes sense. Like what I'm seeing here in your first stage is that you may be single, you may be in a relationship, but that part of your life is very much about you. It's not so much about your partner. It's not so much about the other people in your life. It's about you really finessing your internal voice and having your freedom to be able to explore what you need to in this world. So for many of you, you may choose to stay single for a very long time in stage 1 because you just want your freedom. There is also a feeling here of focusing on other areas of your life. And in this beautiful card, we are shown a baby, swaddled with a cloth. We are shown, what is that? A book. We're shown a cup. We're shown an hourglass, we're shown a rose, and we're shown a ring. So I feel like you're not necessarily focused on relationships in the first stage of your journey. I feel like you are connecting with people. I feel like people are connecting with you. But I feel like stage 1 of your journey, group 2, is very much about you, just focusing on the other things in life that you're trying to achieve. I feel like you're maybe focusing on experience because the Hermit came out with that card as well. And that card is about gaining wisdom, and really following that inner compass as well. Maybe you were working with a mentor who, really strongly encouraged you against settling down, and maybe they told you, like, make sure that you hold off for as long as you can before you have children or before you get married and before you do this and before you do that. The first stage of your journey, you seemed very, very focused on other things, be it study, schooling, work, your own development, traveling, for example, or fostering strong social networks and connections. There just seem to be other things going on in your life as well. And I feel that you gained a lot of experience from that period of your life. You gained a lot close connection to self in that period of your life. And you were also able to focus on your goals in that period of your life. So it's interesting that is what starts your foundation of love. And this seems to be based upon the idea of others as well. Now, stage 2 is where it changes slightly. You have a little bit of a chip on your shoulder, group 2, when it comes to relationships. I feel like you have a very set mentality of relationships, or at least it's a mentality that may have been projected on you based upon the other people in your life. Maybe you witnessed relationships go bad, or you witnessed other people sort of have tricky relationships that seem to fall apart or that seem to limit their opportunities in life. Stage 2, it changes a little bit, but the idea of you not wanting to get tied down or settled down is still there. With the 3 of Pentacles reversed, this stage seems to involve you separating yourself from people. And it's interesting because I feel like you may be in a relationship in this stage, but it's like you don't want that relationship to get serious. The 3 of Pentacles upright can talk about collaborating and connecting, and really sort of coming together to create something with mutual people. And when it's reversed, it's like you're doing something in private. You're not wanting people to take that away from you. You're still wanting to work on the things that you're working on without having somebody else's name over it. It could be you saving up for your first home and you don't want to have to co-sign the mortgage with somebody else, or you don't want to have to answer to somebody else's ideas of where you should live and what the house should look like. Or it's like you're still focusing on other things, even though things seem to be wanting to connect to you in this stage, even though maybe timing has passed. And there's a feeling here of really wanting to separate yourself from something that you feel like you may have gotten caught up in this stage. Now, before we go on to stage 3, I want to say that stage 1, 2, and 3 are the 3 most significant stages in your love journey that Spirit wanted to talk about. But there is a big gap here and here that I'm noticing, okay? Something happens here and something happens here, and it changes everything. Now, the other thing about stage 2 is somebody may pique your interest, or you may have piqued somebody else's interest, and they may be wanting to connect with you at this stage. You may have someone very interested in you at this stage, and it feels like you're kind of denying yourself that opportunity. It feels like you don't want to connect with other people. You don't want to settle into something here. With the Three of Pentacles, I feel like this person wants to work with you more than anything. But you seem to perceive it as someone who could be limiting your expansion, limiting your opportunities. Now this progresses into stage 3 over here. There's a big gap, as I mentioned, between these two stages, but stage 3 is essentially you really truly connecting with spirit and not basing your experience on your level of success, if that makes sense. It's like this, up until this point, you had been running from love, or at least falling in love and falling into a deep connection, because you were afraid of how that would limit your attention towards your goals. And in the third stage, it's like you realize that, I don't know, it was always there from the beginning, if that makes sense. With the crown chakra here, this is a strong connection to source. This is a strong connection to your higher self. And this is you coming into union with your spirituality, whether you choose to label it as that, or whether you choose to label it as, you know, the beat of your own drum. There is a separation of beliefs into what you feel and what you have faith in over here. And the crown chakra is telling me that some sort of radio signal goes off in your head and tells you like, hey, wait a minute, we've been kind of looking at this the wrong way. It's not to say that we have to change our whole approach, but it's just that we shouldn't really be denying ourselves the things that could make us happy. I see with the 7th chakra over here that something does happen, something very big. It could be a person, and it awakens you into a new way of thinking. It doesn't change your perspective on the situation, but it does highlight some fears that had been limiting your experiences when it comes to love. I feel like the general idea of you know, not using love as a limitation, as something that restricts and confines, is still there, which is a healthy idea to have. But instead of looking at love in such a way, you're looking at it as something that can expand you and connect you closer to the things that you're working on. I feel with the crown chakra here that you really start to download information about how you had falsely based your idea of love based on other people's experiences. It's almost like you'd projected what somebody else had told you or what somebody else had shown you onto your own reality, and you told yourself, no, I'm not going to be like that. I'm not going to get trapped like they were. I'm not going to fall victim to love like they had. I'm not going to be like them. Yeah, there is a strong feeling here of fear under it all, and to separate yourself from that fear, you had pushed yourself in other directions. You'd pushed yourself to create and to achieve. You'd pushed yourself away from relationships. You detached yourself from that opportunity, and you may have told yourself, like, I work better alone. Like, sorry, that's just who I am. I don't settle down. I don't calm down. Like, you can't tie me down. I'm working on other things. I follow where the universe calls me to go. And I think in that way you attract a lot of abundance, but I also feel that in this solitude, you're seeing that there are other things that could be giving you that vitality in life. And I feel that it takes a long time, and it might be someone very specific who sort of comes in and triggers this idea of, well, wait a minute, maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way. Or it could just be you realizing that you kind of want more than what you're giving yourself, than what you're allowing yourself to have. Now, I do want to clarify each of these cards because I feel like there is a lot more under them. Excuse you. He's grumpy, if you can't tell. I went out last night and he's angry. Oh, sometimes I just feel like, no, sir, calm down, you're fine. Okay, let's clarify the finding balance, please, Spirit. What is going on there with the finding balance card? Can you offer any more additional information about stage 1 in group 2's love journey? They're showing me moonlight and magic prayer. Wow, yeah. So I do think that you're working on other things. That's the magic prayer card. I do feel like you're focusing your vision on other things in your life. I feel like, listen, these two cards are indicating with that finding balance that there are secrets. You seem to be processing something as well here, or you may hide feelings for people in this period of your life. You may just be a very internal, introverted, withdrawn person. It feels like you spend a lot of time alone here in stage 1. You don't really have that opportunity to connect for many of you. And I feel like to cope with these feelings, you may get a jaded point of view towards love. But I see you spending a lot of time with yourself. I do see you talking to close people and forging other connections. But it's not really centered around love, if that makes sense. Like, that's not how you go into it. I see that this part of your life does involve secrets though, and for some of you it could be that you are uncomfortable with your sexuality, or you're uncomfortable with exploring aspects of your sexuality. It could be that you have curious sort of ideas about what you might be into, but you don't feel safe enough to explore it at that stage of your life as well. That's not going to apply to all of you, but that's what it feels like. Now, the magic prayer is also giving me a secondary message. It's telling me that there is a calling here, and I feel like this calling is bigger than you. I feel like you feel it within you, like a vibration in your chest, but I also feel like there's something else here, like something else calling you, and I feel like this is you kind of having to go with somebody else, or against your own wishes. This could be like a parent telling you what to do, or something feels like it pulls you away from that opportunity to be able to express that side of yourself anyway. Let's clarify stage 2 now. What can you tell us about stage 2 of this journey, Spirit? What can you tell us about stage 2 of Group 2's journey? Balancing act. It does unravel here. You've been trying to kind of keep it all together, and I feel like you do let loose in stage 2. I feel like you get yourself into something that you kind of don't want to be in. With follow the leader reversed, it's like your way of I'm hearing rewarding yourself is to do something that you told yourself you would never do, but then it seems to get you stuck. Balancing act is a number 11, and when it's reversed, it feels like justice reversed. It feels like we're accidentally being served a sentence that we weren't gunning for. Like, we're being trialed as guilty when we pled not guilty. Follow the leader here is interesting reverse too. It's almost like there's a period of rebellion. It's like you're kind of going against someone here, and in doing that, separating yourself, you seem to get caught up in something that feels like it challenges you. And this feels like a partnership. It feels like an alliance that's gone sour. It feels like you're trying to carve a separate path here, separating yourself from some sort of leader. It could be a mentor. It could be someone who you had love for on a family level. And in doing so, you seem to create distance between you and them. But it also just feels like this point of your life, you may accidentally get caught in something as well. Like, in terms of you don't want it, but it happens anyway. Oh my gosh. Can we clarify stage 3, please, Spirit? What is Group 2's coming together? I was feeling that. I feel like you have a soulmate over here in stage 3. I feel like you have a soulmate, someone who comes in and awakens you to the possibilities of love as a unconditional, freeing, expansive force in your life. You perceive love to be confining and to be something that restricts rather than frees. And this person changes that. There's a synergy over here of two forces working together towards common interests. Even if you're separating the actual endeavors, the idea of your energy is that it's very similar. It's cohesive. And you may both be working on separate projects, but it feels like you're both the same way. It feels like you're very ambitious, or you have things that distract you in your life, at least, that pull you away from connecting with someone or people in general on a deep level. You may constantly be moving. That could be what it is. But it feels like you end up meeting someone in stage 3, or coming together with someone who you could have met earlier, but you just weren't emotionally available at that point. And this part of your journey is really about showing you how expansive and cohesive love can be, in the sense of you don't get stuck, but it is an opportunity to co-create, or at least connect. It's very interesting. Can I get one more card for the stage 3 part of Group 2's journey, please, Spirit? Yeah, I feel like this person triggers positive change within you. With Bone Collector here, this is kind of like the magician in this deck. It's someone who is able to show you exactly what you can create with love on your side, if that makes sense. Like maybe this person is a creator. Maybe there's someone who is really good at creating things in their lifetime, and maybe they are very successful, and you're kind of like, well, why have I been so closed off this whole time? I had no idea that it could be that. I'm hearing easy. So I feel like you do connect instantly with this person. The 8 on Come Together tells me that there is an instant connection with that person. It feels like in stage 3, you're being challenged to change your perspective on love, but it's really, I don't want to say it's out of your control, but it's something you can't quite explain here with the crown chakra foreshadowing all of it. It feels like you can't explain it. It's just something that you feel. Like this person is just someone who you feel on a soul level. This person is just someone who makes it so easy. Like it's harder trying to put that distance between the two of you. And for some of you, maybe you tried to stay single until you met that kind of person, until you felt that with someone. They make it very hard to continue doing what you had been doing. And it's not about that person. It's really about your growth and the way that your idea of love has changed throughout these 3 major stages. Now, I do feel like there are gaps in between here, so we're going to talk about them quickly, but group 2, that is what the extended reading is for. In the extended reading, we're going to break down the 3 stages in depth. We're going to really dissect what may be happening in those stages, who may be coming into our lives in those stages, and then we're going to be looking at the gaps as well. It's literally an extended reading. But just quickly, I will talk about them before we continue forward. So can we just address what happens between group 1 and 2, stage 1 and 2 in group 2's reading? What happens in between stage 1 and 2, Spirit? The King of Cups. So you do catch feelings. Sorry about it. You do catch feelings. I feel like you're very controlled over your feelings though, and you choose not to pursue them. You catch feelings for someone here, but you choose not to pursue them. You may keep these feelings a secret with the moonlight here. You suppress them for a very long time, maybe forever for some of you. But the King of Cups tells me there is a feeling here of you catching feelings. And I feel like you try to avoid this situation by moving away from it or running from it, full stop, not talking about it, not addressing it, not associating with it. It could be, again, that struggle with your sexuality. Group 2, only take that if it resonates. But I see you tell yourself that, listen, I know, but we can't act upon it. That's not why we're here. So what happens in between stage 2 and 3, Spirit? What happens in between stage 2 and 3? The 7 of Cups. Things start to become clearer. I feel like at stage 2, you experience some sort of downfall. Okay, can we clarify what happens in stage 2, Spirit? Yeah, you experience challenges. You start to feel like a bit of an underdog here. It feels like you start to face a lot of internal challenges. It feels like you're working towards something and it's not seeming to... Like the Queen of Pentacles is talking about settling down, really, and creating something that's bigger than money. Like when I think of the Queen of Pentacles, I think of, yes, financial success or at least financial stability, but I also think about family and nurturing a home environment and someone who is very open to the idea of having a stable home filled with people and children, etc. So it feels like here there's a fear of maybe having that with the wrong person. There's a fear of getting stuck in that with the wrong person, because I feel like you have some sort of partnership in stage 2 that you don't want to get stuck in. Can you elaborate that? Excuse you. Is there anything else you can tell us about stage 2, Spirit? 2 of Swords. Yeah, you have to make a choice about something or someone here. And the decision is to either settle for what is in front of you or to keep trying to find it elsewhere. And I feel like with the 2 of Swords reversed, the blindfold eventually comes off. But I also feel like you may take a long time before you actually are able to decide to do this, because I don't know, I feel like you either distract yourself with other areas of your life, group 2, or you just find it hard to find the right answers because you're someone who seems to run from these feelings for such a long time. It's like when you're finally forced to face them and to confront them, it takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of your time, and that's what you feel like you don't have. So it feels like it's not worth it. You kind of try to suppress it or you try to delay it. And I think that creates more fear because I feel like you really don't want to get trapped in the wrong thing in your stage 2 journey. It feels like you're trying to separate yourself from someone and someone else's idea of how you should be living your life. And it feels like in order to do that, you have to create instability in that period of your life. You have to flip things over and get off the balancing act tightrope. You have to separate yourself, and I'm hearing emancipate yourself. So for some of you, you had been relying on someone for your money here in stage 2, or you had your finances slowly become intertwined with somebody else in stage 2. And then it clears into the 7 of Cups reversed between stage 2 and stage 3. The 7 of Cups reversed, group 2, is you gaining clarity over the situation. It's like there's no confusion anymore. You're very clear about what you want. You're very clear about how you feel as well. It feels like things start to become certain, and you seem to have this strong idea of what you want emotionally. So what is that, Spirit? What else can you tell us about the period between stage 2 and 3? Spirit's indicating you spend a lot of time dreaming and daydreaming about this as well. With the 4 of Swords reversed, I feel like there is a feeling of regret that you may have delayed action towards this area of your life. I feel like there is also something that needs to be healed that you may be neglecting or rushing to do because you just want to sort of get back out there. Excuse me, I'm just going to have to take another drink. It feels like with the 4 of Swords reversed, there could be other things that need to be addressed or said, and there seems to be a stitch up with the way that you do that. It's not that straightforward as what it feels. It's not as straightforward as just being a different person. There's a lot going on in your mind at that point in your life, and I feel there is regret. I feel someone needing to make up for lost time. Things may be a bit dark at that period of your life, group 2, because you're unsurfacing feelings that you've suppressed for a very long time. And it's an attitude as well that is changing. And when we do that, it can feel like we're losing a part of ourselves. When we change something as definitive in terms of our personality as an attitude, it can feel like we have to grieve a part of ourselves that we're not going to see again. So I see that there is a healing process behind that, and you want to keep that behind closed doors with the 6 of Wands reversed. You don't want other people to know. In fact, people who know you well may have projected this idea onto you as well, and you're just known as that person who never settles down. You know, you're known as the Jack of the Lads type of person, or I don't know, what's the girl version? I don't know, but that sort of analogy of someone who's just like this free spirit. And I feel like there's a lot going on because you seem to feel like you know what you want here, but there's not a connection to you actually feeling comfortable with attaining it, if that makes sense. Stage 2 tells me that your emotions become clear, your thoughts become clearer, but the external energy takes a little while before it feels safe enough to act upon. So can we clarify anything else about stage 3? What happens in stage 3, please, Spirit, for group 2? What is that period of their love journey in tarot? The Strength card reversed. Oh, wow. And the Hanged One. Yeah, there's definitely a change of perspective about how you view love with the Devil coming out reversed. Wowzers. So yeah, I definitely feel a change of perspective, but the card that is really standing out is the Strength card in this period. The Strength card reversed. I'm hearing resourceful. I also feel like there could be an energy of feeling weak to your knees over here. So I feel like you got to change the way that you perceive this area of your life, because with the Strength card reversed, I'm feeling like somebody tames the beast. But I'm also thinking that, like, please don't call yourself a beast. Like, why are you calling yourself a beast? You're not a beast. And it's interesting that it's almost like For some of you, you get this sort of chip on your shoulder about it. Like either there's these sort of words spoken, like maybe I just don't deserve it. Maybe I'm just not that kind of person. I'm just not supposed to fall in love. I'm just not supposed to find love. I'm just not supposed to experience love, etc., etc. With the Strength card reversed, there's a feeling here of patience. And there's also a feeling here of needing to explore the other areas of your personality, like the other qualities that form strength. And I think of compassion, I think of kindness, I think of patience, I think of like having that ability to kind of spend time with those volatile energies. Like strength isn't just about physical brawn, it's also about perseverance and endurance and a test of time in many ways. Like when you think of strength, I don't know, I always think of patience and compassion and kindness as well. So I feel like it's not that somebody has tamed the beast, it's that somebody has challenged the way that you perceive love here. They haven't tamed you because you didn't need to be tamed. You were never a beast, but your attitude towards love did need to grow and develop into a more fitting energy, because it feels like you had just sort of seen how other people chose to define it and you'd gone, ew, I don't want that. Like, why would anybody want that? And it's because some one person maybe had a terrible experience and they projected that outcome onto you and said, don't you fall in love. It's going to ruin your life and tie you down and take you for everything you have. And you were like, oh my God, why would I want that? And so I feel like somebody helps you in that period of your life. They don't mean to, but they do trigger an awakening. They trigger a change of perspective. They trigger you diving deeper into the feelings that you had been suppressing, because you'd already started that on your own. That's the thing. Like they're not doing anything that hadn't already happened, but their presence does trigger it on another level, because now you have context. Where you had curiosity over here, like maybe I have been doing it wrong. I kind of know now. I kind of have a strong feeling now. They gave you context and they showed you this is what happens when you look at love in a different perspective, because I feel that they share similar ideas, but in a way that isn't jaded and bitter and reclusive. Instead of running from love, they choose to face it and say, sure, you can be a part of my life, but I like my space, I like my downtime, I like the freedom to be able to explore my own goals, I like the ability to be able to work in union, but without feeling restricted. And you're like, wow, you literally just said everything that I had been feeling my whole life, and you said it in a way that made it sound healthy. And you're kind of, I feel like this is a long time too. Like this person with Pisces, this could be a relationship that you spend the rest of your life with, just sort of delving into each other on a spiritual level, because I think that there's a lot of curiosity and there's a lot of attraction to each other's sort of energy. There's a lot of like, wow, you've changed the way that I see things. And it's not just about love, but the thing is, this does have a massive impact on your journey, especially with the bone collector down here and the crown chakra up the top. You do end up creating something quite significant, quite powerful because of this stage in your life, because you connect more with the universe. You had been seeking material success without realizing that we're all connected. Like this is a collective consciousness, and I feel like this really takes your manifestation to a next level. This stage, unlocking the power of love, really takes your journey to success to another level. You're shown to create through the eyes of love, and that changes everything. So your bottom deck energy is the Three of Swords. I feel that overall, your idea of love is you expanding beyond the belief system that you were taught to inhabit and that you were conditioned to believe. I feel like this does involve you instigating feelings of pain because you run from your feelings in most of your early stages of love. You do not allow yourself to catch feelings, even though they seem to happen from a young age. It's you kind of growing and adapting beyond this idea that had kept you limited. The threes for me always represent expansion. And I see that you didn't realize until later in life how this idea, this mentality had actually been limiting you rather than giving you the expansion that you thought you were giving yourself by running from love. you thought that by labeling love as restrictive and binding and something that takes rather than gives, you had actually been limiting your experiences. So I do want to get some more cards. What should I get, Spirit? Let us get these cards. Okay. Is there any other information you can tell group 2 about their love journey? What can you tell group 2 about their love journey as a whole, Spirit? Do you have any advice? Actually, let's change it. Do you have any advice for group 2 right here, right now, at the time that they are seeing this timeless reading? What is the advice for group 2? Opulence. Spirit is saying success is in everything, and you are going to find that lesson in your life. If you haven't already, success is in everything. It's like you change the way that you measure success. I feel like Spirit needs you to know that you are protected. You may see love as something that hurts people, but you are protected. And I feel like in your lifetime, you become very protective of someone as well, if you aren't already. Spirit is saying that you do have a soulmate in this lifetime, and they are someone who comes towards you, at least over there. Do they already enter their lives? Anyway, we have compassion over here as well. So I feel like this soulmate does open your heart to the other strengths in your personality. You are someone who is very protective, and I think that love for you changes everything about the way that you attract the success that you want in your lifetime. It seems to offer you this brand new way of creating that you hadn't perceived before. Love really puts a smile on your face and seems to be able to put you in that position to receive more from the universe because you're open to more from the universe. Is there anything else they need to know about their love journey? They're showing me flowing. So I feel like you tell yourself that you're a free spirit who goes with the flow. But when you're so restrictive to something that big, like love is the driving force of energy. That is the reason we exist, you know, like, yes, there are cruel and very aggressive ways to reproduce, but the idea of attraction and love is that it's a way of creating more. And I feel like here you try to knock that part out of your life and focus more on just creating. But how can you when you've not got the juice? You know, it's like you've got all the parts, but it's squeaking, and what you're missing is the oil, the grease that is love, that makes it smoother, that makes it more cohesive and more efficient as well. It's interesting. I'm really trying to channel, because I can't personally relate, if that makes sense. Like, I'm really trying to channel here, and it feels like with the flowing here, you're going to learn that this is a very attractive way to create through the eyes of love. Now, we're also being shown alignment in the reverse, so I feel like you do spend a long time trying to restrict that area of your life and trying not to focus on that area of your life. And maybe you did have an experience when you were younger that kind of jaded you towards love, and it's something that you carried internally for a long time before you told yourself that you were going to allow it back in. But with your bottom deck being bravery in the reverse, Spirit is indicating it's a very big step, opening your heart up. And I don't think it's easy, but I think that the person that you meet makes it feel easy because they are just so compatible with you in every way. They complement you, but they also help bring out the qualities that you treasure and honor within yourself. They help you define your idea of love in a healthier way so that it isn't restrictive, but it does honor your boundaries and your personality. You have a free, independent personality, but your idea of love is that it will take that away from you, and that's not how it has to be. The right person will understand those parts of your personality traits and respect that and honor that and love that and cherish that about you without making you feel guilty, without telling you that you're being selfish, without making you feel like it's them or your job, it's them or your goals, it's them or the thing that gets you up in the morning. Like, that's so unfair. And I feel like this person balances that out for you. So group 2, I got to cut it there. Listen, I do. It's 37 minutes. I'm going to have to go into your extended now. In your extended, we're going to talk about this period more. We're going to address the secrets. We're going to address you catching feelings. We're going to dive into that and see what that person has to say to you, because I don't think you ever told them what you think about them, how you feel. We're going to see what they have to say to you through channeled messages. We're also going to address this area again and really delve into that middle period. We're also going to get channeled messages from your soulmate over here, and we're going to get an outcome, like what happens with the two of you, what else can they tell us after stage 3. So the extended reading will be on Patreon. All my readings are on Patreon. If you would like to join us there, the link to the community is down below. Otherwise, I really do appreciate all of your support right here on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in. I hope this video was helpful. If it wasn't, don't force it to fit. Take what resonates. Do not let the rest take from you. And I shall see you in another video. Bye! Hi group 3 and welcome. If you chose the Labradorite crystal, then this is going to be your video. Now this is going to be your reading. Today's reading is about your love story, your love journey, trying to look at the 3 most significant stages in your love journey. I'm just holding a selenite piece over here, and we're going to be breaking it down to see what happens in those 3 significant stages. So this reading was based on the healing journey reading that I did with Donna Hawthorne. So at the moment we still have a giveaway going. It's a timeless reading though, so check my community page. The giveaway may have ended, but it depends on when you found this video. So group 3, there will be an extended reading as well. We'll talk more about that when we get to the end. I just want to get into your video. Oh, this beautiful selenite. I just might keep it there. But how am I going to shuffle then? How am I going to shuffle? Maybe I can put it on my leg. Let me put it on my leg. All right, so we're going to start with this beautiful oracle deck. We're going to get 3 oracle cards to help us figure out the 3 most significant stages of your love journey. And then we're going to be breaking that information down. Okay, so stage 1, please, Spirit. For group 3, what is the first most significant stage in group 3's love journey? Group 3's love journey. Oops. Okay, well that's not going to be helpful, is it? Because that's too many cards. Just 1 card, please. What is the... Oh, wow. Okay. They're showing me the Ace of Cups reversed. Underneath that was the 2 of Cups reversed, but we're not going to take it. And underneath that was detached. Oh, my Lord. Detached. Okay. Oh, my Lord. I think I need to take them. I'm sorry. I think I need to take them. Ooh, there's a strong energy in that part of your life. Okay, what about stage 2, please, Spirit? Stage 2 involves the Hanged Man reversed with the 2 of Pentacles reversed. So we have Observe in the reverse for stage 2, and we also have the 2 of Pentacles in the reverse as well. What about stage 3? What's the 3rd most significant? We're being shown Blossoms in the reverse, and we're being shown the Devil card, as well as Healing Begins. And underneath we have Seek the Truth, the 7 of Swords showing up reversed as your bottom deck energy. We also have a Sacral Chakra reversed over here. Okay, let me just take a sip of my juice. Okay, so for you guys, group 3, I feel like the first stage of your love journey seems to be unrequited love. It seems to be a lesson in preservation. And I say this because either you had an experience here where somebody wasn't as open as you were to the opportunity, or you witnessed somebody else being cut down. It could have been a parent. This is your first significant stage of love. So it feels like in this stage of your journey, you were taught to preserve love rather than give it freely. You were taught to withhold and, withhold rather than surrender and release freely, especially with coming together as a blockage and detach. It feels like some of you, this may have been a friend zone situation, you know, where you saw somebody else, or this happened to you, become friend zoned rather than get that opportunity. Now, it seems to be very impactful because it's the first most significant stage. So this seems to really change your ideas of offering love and giving love. And I see that for you, it teaches you to withhold and to be someone who waits for others to instigate, just in case you're accidentally wrong, just in case what people have to offer you isn't what you think if they are going to do, if that makes sense. Like, it's almost like, just to be safe, just to make sure we're on the same page, I'm going to wait until this person offers me something rather than reach out and extend love to them. It feels like stage 1 teaches you to be withdrawn and meek instead of boisterous and what's that word? The A word. Oh gosh, why can't I think of it? Assertive. That's the word. Hey, assertive. It sort of teaches you to be the chill one, the passive one, who waits for the assertive one to offer. And I see that what happens here is that you may have a lot of friends, but you don't seem to have a lot of romantic opportunities in that stage of your life. You seem to catch feelings and have feelings, but you don't seem to be comfortable or ready in expressing them and opening them up. I see that you share this with your friends more than anything. You may have a solid friend who you confide in and who you share this fear or this concern with, but I see that most of this part of your journey is you kind of placing barriers between yourself and your romantic partners to be, like, instead of, because they're not really your partners, they're people who you see an idea of love with. So stage 1 is that's what I see for you, group 3. Now it does progress into stage 2 over here. Stage 2, I do feel that things change. I do think that with stage 2, your perception is forced to look at the other way. I feel like your way of gaining balance is to be overtly in control of the situation and really trying to force things to happen. There seems to be a shift in confidence in stage 2. And for some of you, this is like you kind of having alcohol confidence, liquid courage. Something changes and you seem to put yourself out there more. And what this also seems to do is it seems to attract a different kind of person towards you. It seems to put you into people's peripheral, or at least the main part of their vision. Instead of hiding yourself, I see you really trying to put yourself out there more. Stage 2 seems to be you trying to change things up, but it's very surface level. It comes from a place of lack rather than a place of security. It comes from a place of you feeling and sensing a void and wanting to fill it. And I think that it does teach you a lot about yourself, and it does teach you a lot about other people, and it teaches you to be more balanced and to look at life holistically and to try to stay open to opportunity. But again, it feels like we're feeling a void here. It feels like it comes from a place of lack. Now from stage 2, we do move into stage 3 over here. And stage 3 is where things really change for you. I feel like this eventually leads to you gaining your peace, but I feel like this part of your life reveals things to yourself, about your personality, and about other people that is quite confronting. This part of your journey involves codependency. It involves looking at love through a lens of transformation, in the sense of people using you for their own gain or vice versa. This part of your love seems to be very addictive. It seems to be very much passion. And I feel like there's a lot of attraction to someone here, and it feels unhealthy, but I don't think so. I think it's just because the behaviors or the ideas that we have of love are still tainted by our past experiences. I see you having an opportunity to transform yourself through a relationship here in stage 3. And I also see a relationship transforming. So I see you potentially giving someone a second chance in stage 3. Because the first time around, neither of you were really taking it seriously and looking at how your love seems to bounce off one another equally. I see that this period of your life involves you needing to kind of look at things for what they are and not try to deny what you feel or what you know is true, because overall energy is the 7 of Swords for you. So I feel like your love journey, group 3, is very much about you facing the truth, not necessarily seeking it, but facing the truth and looking at how your actions seem to attract specific types of people. In the first stage, your actions are very meek and passive, so you're only attracting really people who are really assertive and really willing to jump through the hurdles that you put up there. And for many of you, that's not a lot of people because you're not open. And your stage 2, you're very, very open and available, and that's going to attract a specific type of person as well. And then with stage 3, we finally get someone who seems to have a profound impact, but our behavior is limiting the growth of this relationship, and vice versa, because we attract similar energies. So I feel like you both evolve through this experience, and I do think that you try to heal that relationship. I do think that this stage of your life is you trying to free your heart and really work through the issues as they arise, and to try to gain peace and perspective, and positive peace and perspective. I see that you want growth. And it feels like we're going back to something in order to grow it. And this may be us going back to how we had been conditioned to think and believe as well in order to grow. Let us see. I'm trying to see if I've missed anything as well. Group 3. Okay, group 3. I just had to take a little break because I needed to drink some water and just come back to this for a second. So what I want to do, group 3, is I actually want to clarify each of these 3 groups. Now, I didn't do this for the other 2, but I just feel like I need to break into this a little bit more. I feel like the oracle cards are hinting at a lot of subliminal themes that my early morning mind just can't grasp at this point. So I'm going to get tarot, and we're going to delve straight into those intuitive themes, because I feel like there's a lot more going on here than I was able to pick up on originally. Excuse me. Just a little bit of green juice as well. Now, what is interesting is I'm noticing that the first stage of your journey involves a lot of heart chakra that is blocked. It's like the first stage of your journey does limit your understanding, or at least the way that you open your heart up to love, in the sense that by the time the 3rd stage happens, we have a very skewed way of approaching love and approaching situations involving love. I think that stage 2 teaches us to use love and partnerships to get other things. Like maybe in this stage we're using love to help us, get that lifestyle that we really want, or that home that we really want, or we're trying to fill, because it feels like this comes from a position of lack. And then with stage 3 over here, we're being directed to think bigger than that, and yet there's this impulse to act upon how we had always acted upon. So I feel like it's us emancipating ourselves from the way that our own actions and behaviors have limited the outcomes in our partnerships as well. Now, start with stage 1. Can we clarify with Tarot Spirit, what is happening here? What happens with this unrequited love situation? Yeah, it's a false start for sure. Would have, could have, should have, but it didn't, and it results in heartbreak. We do know that. That came through very clearly. What about stage 2, Spirit? Can we clarify what happens in stage 2? What happens in stage 2? We're being shown the Hermit. So for some of you, it results in you spending a lot of time alone in stage 2, trying to gain your confidence again. I feel like communication is a bit sneaky for you guys. They're showing me the 5 of Cups as well. I don't know if I want to take it though. We'll leave it out there. Stage 2, group 3, with this change of perspective, or this way of sort of controlling things, I see that you guys, it might be a defense mechanism. It might be a way of protecting yourself, because it seems like you're very careful with what you say. You're very good at using your words in order to project a certain reality into other people's minds. It seems like you project this confident figure. You project someone who is happy to be alone, but I also feel like there's a lot of emotion underneath the surface that is changing and wanting more, and wanting expansion, and wanting to connect. I feel like there is something that happens in stage 2 that drives a feeling of lack and loss. And it feels like in order to fill that void, we may be trying to approach the wrong sort of places, if that makes sense. Like lack leads to lack. And I think that the people that we may be looking at actually bringing into that part of our world are people who end up taking advantage of the way that we want love to work for us, rather than how love is trying to help us. It's very much want versus what we need. So it's interesting. There's a hot and cold energy in stage 2 of wanting to be alone and needing to gain wisdom, as well as not wanting to be alone and attracting people who can pick up on that vulnerability. Now, I feel with the 5 of Cups that something does happen there. What happens with the 5 of Cups, Spirit? Oh my gosh, they're showing me the Queen of Pentacles and the Emperor here. So stage 2 does involve you trying to take control and being more assertive and trying to make things happen. So for some of you, it's trying to make this relationship happen. I feel like you're towing a fine line of independence as well as controlling. So for some of you, it's going to differ. Stage 2 looks like you being a very independent person, focusing on yourself, doing your own thing. But for others of you, stage 2 is you doing all of that, as well as trying to force somebody else to be a part of that. I think that this person is more of a passive energy, and you try to force them into this picture with you. Like, we're together, this is what happens. Like, we both need to find room for each other. We both need to make this work. Like, we're together, that's what happens. And I think that there could be a loss here. Like, that's not going to last very long, because this person seems to feel very controlled in this situation, or someone does. Not to the point of the devil, he's in stage 3 though, but it does feel like us forcing things to happen, because with the Hanged Man reverse, we do feel stuck. We do feel like we're needing to explore escape routes, and finding balance involves us uncomplicating our lives and separating parts of our lives. The 2 of Pentacles reverse could be a separation of assets as well. So after sort of living with someone for a long time, it's us sort of finding our own path again. There is a separation here in stage 2, but it comes after a period of us trying to be assertive towards our love life and our partnerships, and really wanting to tick boxes similar to Group 1's energy. One of their stages was very similar to Group 3. They were trying to tick boxes as well. But for you, it's either you're ticking boxes solo and you're happy to do so, even though you do feel lonely at times, or you're ticking boxes with a partner who still makes you feel lonely at times because you're not really connecting with them. It's just you trying to fill from a lack mentality. So that's what I see for stage 2. We're going to clarify stage 3 now. What happens in stage 3 for Group 3, Spirit? We're being shown the Lovers. So I was feeling that. I feel that even though the devil came out there, I don't think that that's a toxic situation, because it's because of the behavior. It's not because of the person. Like, I don't think that this is a harmful person. I think that they're an inspirational person for your love journey, in the sense that they have a lot to offer. I feel like this person emancipates us from something that was once keeping us bound, and I think that we may have the opportunity to transform a connection in stage 3, Group 3. I feel like something has the opportunity to be resurrected in stage 3 because of the Judgment card, because of Blossom in the reverse. It feels like what once was stale and stagnant and barren is now having a chance to be revitalized and to bloom. Now with Master here though, it does feel like a lot of this starts off on the wrong foot, because we're being shown things through physical actions, in terms of, like, I could say this is unhealthy. Someone else could pull you up and say, do you understand how your behavior is impacting the outcome? And you might say yes, because you can understand it, but that doesn't change that approach. This is you learning firsthand how certain actions lead to certain outcomes, and I feel that that has to be learned the practical way. I don't want to say the hard way, but that's what I'm kind of feeling. Group 3, stage 3 teaches us about attraction and about passion, and about using these initial sort of honeymoon periods as a determining factors, but not as defining factors. For example, we all know that this is a thing, like, some people are more prone to it than others, but when you first find somebody that you're attracted in, there is that honeymoon phase where we get rose-tinted glasses and we gloss over some of the red flags, and we spend a lot of time with them, and the honeymoon period can look very codependent. It can look very unhealthy because we just want to spend so much time with this new person. But I see that really what changes is that you're looking at this as a phase and not as a defining phase, so that once that period does naturally wane and regulate and stabilize, you're able to see that it's not because your relationship is failing, or it's not because this person is no longer attracted to you. It's because this relationship is growing and it's being redefined, and it's being given a more, I'm hearing stable point of view. So I feel like whatever this is in stage 3, whoever this is that you're attracted to, they come in with a strong energy, group 3. They're very, very strong. There's a strong attraction to them. There's a strong sexual attraction, a strong impulse. And it initially misleads us. It makes us think that this is temporary, or it makes us think that it always has to be this way. And I don't think that the attraction fades, but I think that there is a moment here where you're able to look at it in a different way as well. This period is what helps us become attracted, but it isn't what needs to define our whole relationship together. Is there any other tarot cards to clarify stage 3 for group 3 period? We have the 10 of Pentacles. So I do see that this is someone who you end up spending the rest of your life with. What is this Devil energy? Can we clarify? Yeah, this person does help you heal old behavioral cycles. They help you grow in a way. With the Page of Cups reversed, this feels like an emotional immaturity. I feel like your emotions were stunted based on previous cycles with previous people, and just the way that you had been trying to make things work. It feels like stage 3 is you kind of growing and developing beyond those limitations from previous experiences. And for many of you, group 3, I don't know if you have a lot of relationships. I think that you just have a few, like maybe even 2 solid ones in your lifetime, because of your early experiences of love, because of these false starts and this witness of rejection, whether it was to yourself or from other people. You're very selective over who you partner up with. And I think that in stage 3 over here, there's an unapologetic approach to the way that you partner up this time. It feels like we're really looking at things seriously, and we're skipping through steps, and we're allowing ourselves to grow beyond certain phases. There's something very different about stage 3 for you guys that does instigate fear, but it also allows us to grow beyond certain boundaries that we maxed out at in previous cycles. So is there anything else tarot can tell us about stage 3, Spirit? Justice. Yeah, you definitely enter a partnership in stage 3. It could be with a Capricorn. That could be why Devil is there, because I don't see it as an oppressive energy. I see it as someone helping you work through oppressive cycles. We're being shown the 3 of Cups here reversed. So this could be a friend who you end up disclosing feelings for. And maybe this is someone who's been a part of your life for some time, who you kind of, I don't think so though for some of you. That's not the case. The 3 of Cups reversed is really just saying, again, that there's this idea of taking things seriously this time. So I don't know if you kind of tried to run from that after this experience, but you're really trying to take things seriously this time, trying to look at things in a more serious point of view. Maybe keeping this somewhat sacred as well and separate from a shared community. You may meet this person through friends and you just kind of want to keep it private. You don't want to share it and risk it being tainted. That's all I'm really getting with tarot. Your bottom deck energy is the Knight of Cups. I feel a beautiful energy in stage 3. Even though the Devil's energy is there, I don't see it as a toxic energy. I see it as something that helps you decide whether or not you're attracted to someone, but I don't see it as something that defines your relationship. I see it more as you transforming with someone. So let's see what this beautiful oracle deck can tell us as well. What else can you tell us about the first stage of group 3's love journey? What else can you tell us about the first stage of group 3's love journey, Spirit? We're being shown success and safety. Okay, so I feel like you do learn off other people in the first stage of your love journey. I don't know if you have relationships of your own, but it feels like you learn off other people here with success. Like there is something that doesn't work out here, and yet you see it as a safety net. You see it as you needing to go in your cocoon to develop a little bit longer, to grow from this experience, and to take positive points away from it. You seem to grow from this in a safe, like protective way. Like you seem to want to hide yourself here. It feels very, yeah, look at the imagery on this card. Like you seem to just want to hide yourself and protect yourself. Success is interesting though. Can we look into that a bit further, Spirit? What do you mean by success in stage 1? They're showing me kindness. So I feel like you're more of a friend here. And rebirth, yeah, stage 1 is about you honoring friendship. It's about you growing strong friendships, growing strong connections in a different way. Like it seems unrequited. This is a part of your life where you're very quiet, but you also, the people who are a part of your life, you give to quite deeply. Like you're someone who really, really just opens and loves. You're a very beautiful, precious soul, group 3. And I feel like in this period of your life, you're wanting to protect that side of yourself. The success is interesting because you are shown the many different varieties of love from stage 1 and group 3. You're shown how to be kind and giving and compassionate and friendly and all the other versions of love. You're potentially a very good sibling, a very good friend, a very good child to your parents, you know, like you have love in your life, but it's still not the kind of love that you want. It's not what other people have. And it feels like you do experience rejection over here and a false start over here. Something doesn't quite work out, but it still keeps you open to the other versions of love in your life. And I feel like you have a strong support network around you at that point in your life as well. So stage 2, can we clarify? What else can you tell us about stage 2 in group 3's love journey? Oh, we have rebirth coming out for you. And we also have hope over here, which was in the reverse. So yeah, I feel like, again, things do change in stage 2. But it leads us to lose faith in where we're going. It leads us to want to take control of things and to want to force things and to mold things. And I think that we become a little bit too controlling and a little bit too trying to make things happen for us instead of letting things happen for us. You seem to go through a physical transformation in this period of your life as well. Spirit's indicating a glow up in stage 2, group 3. It's very frustrating for me because this energy all feels very confusing, if I'm honest with you. Stage 2 is like you doing and saying two different things. You're doing this, but you're saying that, and you're attracting this, but you're doing that. And I feel like you're still just trying to figure yourself out in stage 2. I feel like we go through a little bit of an identity crisis, or we're at least changing things about ourselves that doesn't necessarily fit with our vibration. But we want to explore, we want to get experimental, we want to try a bit harder than we did in stage 1 to attract romantic love is what it feels like. We're not satisfied with the versions of love that we have from stage 1. We want more. And in order to do that, I feel that it does lead us into situations that seem forced, is what I want to say. Now, what about stage 3, Spirit? What else can you tell us about stage 3? Stage 3 seems to offer us a side quest. It seems to reveal things to us that we may not be ready for, right? With the 7 of Swords reverse, we may be denying ourselves certain truths and focusing on other areas of our life when the truth is right in front of us. We seem to be shown a side quest here, or we seem to be on a side quest here that ends up leading to our main goal in life. It seems to be a detour in stage 3. Things don't quite go according to plan, but it still helps us learn about ourselves, and it's still a very significant stage in your love journey. So what else can you tell us about stage 3, Spirit? What else can you tell us about stage 3? We're being shown everlasting. So I do think that you meet someone who you want to spend the rest of your life with over here. This is someone who isn't apparently a part of the mold that you've started to create but they do tick all your boxes and they force you to want to take things seriously. Again, I use force as a way of a strong desire to. I don't think that you can be forced. You are a sovereign being, but this person certainly strongly encourages you to be open and to take things seriously in that way. Because I think that for some of you, stage 2 involves you exploring yourself and being open to multiple partners, you know. And I think that that idea of freedom is something that you like initially because it helps you explore. You're feeling more confident, but it doesn't help you connect in the way that you're desiring. It comes from a lack. It comes from wanting to fill a void. And then all of a sudden in stage 3, we meet someone who makes us want to take this more seriously and makes us want to connect. And all of a sudden we can see a future with someone. And all of a sudden it isn't forced. It's just something that seems to happen. And it's something that transforms us and awakens us and shows us the truth about our nature, and that we tend to act from a place of fear in terms of fear of rejection. And we tend to act from a place of protection in terms of protecting against rejection. And I feel like this person really encourages us to look at things for what they are and to move forward with the idea of, like, I deserve this as well. Now in my hand I have healthy. So stage 3 involves you setting those healthy boundaries and those healthy realizations for yourself from the devil's energy, from that attraction to this person. I feel that this develops into an everlasting connection that involves a lot of healthy growth and a healthy understanding of self. Is there anything else you want to tell group 3 about their love journey in general, Spirit? Is there anything else you want to tell group 3? Yeah, I feel like even though all of this happens, especially stage 2. Stage 2 is very confusing. You go through a little bit of an identity crisis where you want to do things that don't fit your essence. And I see that this is a part of you experimenting. This could be you experimenting with your look, with your sexuality, with your idea of love and connections. But it doesn't hide what you feel inside. Your soul yearns for someone in particular, for something in particular. And until that comes your way, I feel like it's a very frustrating feeling of you wanting to fill that void with other things. With Virtuoso reversed, it kind of feels like we mislabel that yearning for something else, and we think that it's just our desire for sex, or it's just our desire for contact, or for other forms of connection, and we think we can fill that yearning with something else. Like, I really want to do this, but since I can't do that, I'm just going to cut my hair and dye it blue, you know, like that sort of mentality. And I feel like this eventually leads us to a point where we're able to calm down enough, because you can only do that for so long, to be able to feel that for what it truly is. And this energy is coming from a deeper sense of yearning and I want to say loneliness, because there's a part of us that really just wants someone who is going to understand us. With giving here reverse, we want someone who is going to be able to connect with us and reinstigate those feelings of hope. I think that in your lifetime, group 3, love is the factor that helps you transform and grow and blossom. And I feel like these 3 main stages are all centered around the way that you seem to transform as well. Like in stage 1, you're shown a harsh reality of love that forces you, or that encourages you to grow a safety net around you and to grow a cocoon around you. And I think that in stage 2, you think you're out of the cocoon. You think that you've transformed into a butterfly, but I think that you'll find that you still have a thick layer of protection around you that you're using as a safety net, which is your fear of rejection or your fear of abandonment. And I think that from there into stage 3, really connecting with that person who you decide you want to spend the rest of your life with helps you to realize some of the things that you had been projecting. In the sense of, like, I feel like this is coming out of you just figuring out who you are as well. Like, there's no wrong or right way to live your life. I can't tell you how to live your life. But it feels like that's why these 3 stages all happen, is because there is a period of denial throughout your life. And instead of facing something for what it is, you take side steps and side quests, and we focus on this instead. And we're going to be overly controlling instead. And we're going to be attracted to that instead, or we're going to invest our energy in that instead, because it's easier. But overall, your energy is very, very, very much one of a fighter's sort of spirit with persevere here. I feel like your love journey in general is about you overcoming boundaries that you feel that you placed for yourself. Like, you learn that love is such a transformative energy, and it's something that encourages you to continue growing rather than feeling like you need to conform it and control it. Because I think that in stage 2, you do try to control it. You try to sort of attract people in and then push them away, and attract people in and push them away. And I feel like it leads to like a feeling of, well, I feel confident in who I am, but I'm just not happy with what I've got. Your bottom deck energy is merciful here as well. So your love journey in general, I feel like it does teach you a lot about yourself. I feel like there's a lot of confusion in stage 2, and I don't think you realize the gravity of your actions and of that part of your life until stage 3 forces you to get more serious. And I'm sorry that I keep using that word, but it feels like the forces of nature and the energy of this person really has a profound effect on your existence and putting everything into perspective, because your main focus here is to not look at things for what they truly are. Your main focus here is to detach in a different way and to control and to be the one in control, and to be the one who is setting the bar and setting the standards, and to be the one who decides who gets rejected first type of energy. When stage 3 comes around, you take it so seriously. It almost feels like you're being forced to, but I see you really just, this is what you've wanted. You wanted someone who understands that and who's going to take time to get to know that part of your personality. It feels like another side quest, but it's actually something that ends up being everlasting, and it's something that encourages you to take on a more balanced approach. The word that came out was healthy, but I feel that it's balanced more than anything, group 3, because it's looking at the way that you are attracted to situations, and it's making it more of like a, I want to say a healthier outcome. This person comes in like a wildfire though. Your desire for them is strong from the beginning, and you kind of write it off as another sort of attractive person, but I feel you asking yourself, like, why am I so into them? Why am I so attracted to them? Why can't I stop thinking about them? Why are they always on my mind? Like, this is someone that is hard to suppress, that is hard to walk away from, which really challenges you to sit down and take it seriously for once, so that you're not projecting that rejection onto them. I do think that stage 1 does really deeply impact you, and it could be you witnessing a parent being rejected, you know? It feels like whatever this is in stage 1, it does make you want to be in control, so that you're the one who rejects and you don't have to be in the position that you saw in stage 1. So that's what I see for you, group 3, on my days. You really challenged me, I'm not going to lie. Your reading changed compared to group 1 and 2's formula. I had to get a bit creative in order to pull out the right themes, because I felt spirit had a specific message, and stage 2 was so confusing. It really threw everything off for me as the reader, but I hope that this reading did help you put things into perspective. This is a journey that is a general reading in terms of, we're looking at your love journey, but this is still general. So if anything doesn't resonate, don't force it to fit, group 3. Only take what resonates. It's only meant to give you clarity, support, and guidance on your journey. If it's confusing, don't force it to fit. Leave it for somebody else. Now, I am going to go into the extended now. The extended readings have been elaborating at the gaps. That's what I did for group 2, and that's what I want to do for you. We're going to elaborate the gaps in this reading. We're going to look at what happens between stage 1 and 2, because these were the 3 most significant stages, but that doesn't mean there aren't other stages in your love journey. We're going to look further into this rejection to see if it was someone else or if it was you. We're going to look further into this confusing period of your life to see what key energies seem to impact you, and we're going to get channeled messages from this everlasting lover over here in stage 3. So if you would like to join us in the extended, it is on our Patreon, or in our Patreon community. So the link to our Patreon community is down below. Otherwise, honestly, I just appreciate your support, and thank you for being here and for supporting free tarot here on YouTube, as Lumia says. I love that little spiel. Look after your beautiful self, group 3, and I shall see you in another video. Bye.